Hey there, everybody. Gonna go a little bit live. I know we scheduled it for maybe a minute or two from now. Let's just go ahead and pop in here. How's everybody been? I know it's been like 3 weeks since the last time I streamed, so I hate to leave you hanging there for a couple weeks, but I promise I've been here in the CRT bunker with my nose to the grindstone, getting an amazing set of CRTs ready for sale for the general public. And this is the only time of year that, excuse me, I do offer sets for sale to the general public. So you're in for a special treat. 5 of these CRTs have never been seen before. That's what we're going to look at. I did a show 3 weeks ago, which I'll link in the description for this one. And you can see details on the first 5 that were already documented and we're ready to go. And since then, that's what I've been working on, is these other 5 restored CRTs. And it's a good group here of stuff. I got everything. I got standard sets that just are normal TVs. I got some RGB modded goodness in there too. And then I do have a couple PVMs to talk about, or at least one really nice one. So that's exciting stuff, all available. We'll get into that and what's been done to them, what they look like. Steve from Steve's Assorted Stuff, Retro World, is only 2 weeks away. That is correct. We are like 14 days away from everything you're seeing actually being available to look at live in person. And what I'm talking about is the Retro World Expo. So let's just talk about that real fast. This is the place where all these CRTs are going to be. It's at the Retro World Expo from September 12th to the 14th. Actually, if I'm being honest with you, I doubt there will be any. Well, I'm not sure. I would more or less stick to the 12th and the 13th if you want to see pretty much everything, because the 14th is generally a little bit of a slower day. And I know a lot of people will be going out of town from then. So the best 2 days are going to be the 12th and the 13th. That's Friday and Saturday. I will be there both those days on the floor at my booth. And I should be right next to your good buddy Bob from Retro RGB. And I have a minute, or in a minute, I have something special I'm going to announce about him. But guys, this is it. This is the big hangout. If you want to know where, like, the only thing close to a retro meetup is this convention. And it is the Hartford Convention Center. There's all the details. You can go to retroworldexpo.com and find out all this information yourself. But there's the details on the show hours, the location, and everything good. There's parking right on site. It's an awesome time. The vendor list is sold out, so you know you'll see some good vendor stuff there. And let's talk about something else that was recently announced just this week. That is the panel schedule. I don't know if I can I increase this zoom in? There we go. Whoops, sorry, a little bit too much. So here's the details that you really need for your one chance for the CRT Masterclass. And it's going to be 5 p.m. It's a different time than last year. 5 p.m. on Saturday, September 13th, in panel room A. I keep wanting to say ballroom A, but that's not right. It's panel room A. So if you want to come to the one CRT Masterclass that I will be doing this entire year, this is it, September 13th at the Retro World Expo in panel room A. And this is open to any attendant of the Saturday convention. So if you're going in there, you don't have to do anything extra. You can just show up at 5 p.m. to panel room A and you'll get your seat. I have 45 minutes. 45 minutes. That's it. It seems like some people might feel like 45 minutes is a lifetime, but that's literally going to be very difficult for me to stick to that 45-minute slot because I'm going to try to jam pack everything into 45 minutes, my entire year into 45 minutes. So you can imagine how insane that's going to be. And I'm even going to do this better. I'm going to cut that time in half. I'm going to give you my wonderful CRT spiel, my goodies, my pre-talk, and then I'm going to leave it open for 20 minutes of wonderful questions, demonstrations on things maybe you want to see live, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope to see everybody that can make it there. Again, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to buy anything except a pass to Saturday at the convention to get to this panel room, and then you can have the one CRT class I'll be doing this year. So that's the big announcement that time was dropped. So I'm very excited to see. I had a huge crowd turn out for last year. If you want to see the Masterclass, you could actually watch it probably right here by going to the expos. This is just the guide to everything happening on the expo, the schedule. And actually, there's links to some awesome stuff. You can watch last year's presentation. And I promise this year's will be different than last year's because I don't really ever do the same presentation. They are unique experiences. They are unique experiences that are like the tales of old, when people would sit around the fire and listen to a good tale from the bard. And it was an experience because you were there. And it's not something you can really fully enjoy just from sitting and watching. It's truly something that you can be a part of. So I hope you all will be there. Some other important notes. So again, I will have a booth at the show Friday, Saturday, some parts Sunday. And I'm sorry if I haven't gotten you guys to the chat. I will here in a minute. I know I appreciate you guys dropping in. And if you can, do me a quick solid for 1 second. Drop a like on it on the YouTube video here and the live stream for me. I really appreciate that. It does help out. Okay, so yes, we've talked about that. The course. I will be at the convention floor at the and I'm sure that I'm going to be with I know I'm going to be with Bob for sure from Retro RGB. I imagine I'll be with Tito from Macho Nacho Productions, and we generally are all hanging out at the booth, and there's probably going to be other people there. I'm sorry if there's someone directly on the list that is going to be there that I don't know. I just know for sure that we will be there, and I'm sure there will be other people. So you can come by there. The cool thing is this year, like I said, I have 10 restored CRTs. We're going to get them set up in the booth, and you'll be able to come by, and you don't have to buy these. You can come by and check them all out, see all the restoration work done on them, and see them in person. But they will be available to purchase from the floor and take home with you, or you can leave them there till the end of the show and then arrange for me to deliver them to your vehicle down in the parking garage if you're on site for parking. So it's really going to be convenient, an awesome opportunity to see CRTs. Also, I was going to make a note here that if you really want to come and have a chat with me, I want to do it I want to make it happen. So I'm just going to say that the best opportunity for that is going to be on Friday, especially Friday, I imagine earlier when the show's open, but really anytime Friday should be much easier to get in and have a chat with me or Bob or Tito or whoever else. The best opportunity. I'm not even sure. I'm telling you for sure I will be there Friday, and I'm pretty sure Bob will be there all day Friday. So that's going to be the best opportunity. Because if you wait till Saturday tends to be crazy. That's the one day everybody comes. And as you can see, I have to be gone between basically 4:45 till my class is done, and then I have my cleanup done, and that will probably be about 6 p.m. And then I will come back to the booth and hang out for another hour to 2 hours there to follow up with people and hang out. And so that's the best time, is Friday or early Saturday. So if you do want to come say hello or talk for a minute, the best opportunities are going to be then. And if there's nobody, like if there's, don't feel awkward. I know we're all kind of nerdy and get awkward. Don't worry about it. We'll try to make it at least awkward and as least uncomfortable as possible to come talk to Bob and I. I promise we will both have showered and we will be ready to answer any questions, have a nice chat with you. We love talking to people. And I know sometimes, you know, we could all feel a little socially awkward. Don't worry about it. Just come up, say hello, and we would love to talk to you and say hello. And the best times are, again, Friday and earlier Saturday. And one more thing about our booths. So as I said, I will have those 10 CRTs we're going to look at here. I will have those CRTs listed. Every one of them will have a price sticker on them. And it's going to be even better than that. They're going to have a QR code. You'll be able to take your phone out, look at the QR code, and it's going to give you a folder. And in that folder, you will find pictures of all the servicing done to the CRT you're looking at. You'll find notes on that CRT about the CRT services that were done, and a certificate of basically authenticity go with it in that folder. So that's what you'll do. You'll walk up, you'll see all this stuff, and even if, like I say, you just want to see some cool CRTs, I'm telling you, these things, I have tweaked them and done all my magic that I can to them to make them look as beautiful as possible. So even if you just want to come see a great example of some CRTs, you'll be able to see those there. The other thing, I know that Bob, he wanted me to mention he's having a bunch of gear and stuff that are not CRTs that he's going to be selling, and he will actually be posting a video very soon on Retro RGB, the YouTube channel. And oh gosh, I really got the chat started now. Anyway, don't want to forget this stuff because I'm going to be going off a train here if I do. So Bob will have gear for sale. He's going to have a video about that, and he will have pickup available at the convention. So if you're going, you'll be able to say, I mean, he's got bigger stuff. You know how Bob is. He gets all kinds of stuff in, gets to test it out, and then, just like all of us, runs out of space and needs to bless the community with some good stuff. So make sure to check out that video when it's out. If you're interested in anything, set up a pickup there at the booth and make things easier on yourself. So with that 15 minutes of tongue twisters out of the way, I want to say thank you again for showing up to this special live stream today. And we're about to look at all these amazing CRTs I've been just talking about here. Before that, I want to say hey to some people in the chat. Steve from Steve's Assorted Stuff. If you have not checked out his channel, you can click on his name in the chat and check out his channel. He's got some really awesome CRT stuff, but he has a wall of awesome CRTs that he always puts together. So that's another opportunity to see the wall. I've done videos on the CRT wall he has. It's awesome. So you're going to have, I mean, this convention will have well over 100 different CRTs at it. Between my 10, Steve's probably 20, the 50 the convention will bring, and then you're going to have probably 60 to 100 arcade machines that are all going to have beautiful tubes inside of them. So that's everything. Let's go in here and see who we got in the chat today. If you want to shout out, just say, hey, what's up, Stu? 1088, the great Brian. That's going to be great to have you there. Yes, sir. Coming to the expo. Hot Cuervo, yes, you do get, to get services done, you'll need to check out my Patreon. It is in the description of this video. Hey, Ronnie, welcome. Thank you for making it today. Mark, I'll be glad to see you there, buddy. It's always great to talk to Mark. Shane, welcome. PO17, what's up? Welcome in, my friend. John, welcome. Good to see you. Gerald, J-Man. Let's see, Edwards, the cable master of Europe. Thank you, sir, for coming. Stefan C, what's up? Good to see you. And Gerald, I think I already said your name. Anyway, sorry. There we go. Thank you all for showing up today. If you haven't already, please do me a favor and hit that like button. It does help let people know, because we're about to, we're about to jump in and look at the CRTs here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through each one of them individually and kind of take my time with them. I need to get those files opened, though, and set up over here. Oh, excuse me. So, unfortunately, no, I don't believe we're going to be showering together, as in Bob and I. Thankfully, we have made it to the point where we don't have to share rooms at conventions. Call us big timers now. Okay. So, but anything's possible, you know? What was that movie with Demi Moore and Woody Harrelson? Indecent Proposal? So, I don't know which one of you Robert Redfords out there is going to give us an indecent proposal, but hey, you never know. It's the 10th year of Retro World, baby. We're going to have fun. All right, so if I haven't been demonetized already, let's get in here and look at it. Okay, so here's the first. Here's the first. Can that view be made bigger? Extra large. So this is the file of the Retro World files, like the X files, only the Retro World files. So those are the 5 that we went through last week. Let's start on number 6. Number 6 here. Our first CRT. Okay. Here we go. So as I promised, I'm bringing quite a few low-end CRTs. And these are CRTs for basically anybody to enjoy, anybody to buy. I don't see how in the world, even something like what you're going to see right here is... I don't see any opportunity for me to try to sell this for, I don't even know what the tops would be. I don't even want to say it. I don't even see like a $90 price on this. I don't even think that could even be possible. So I don't know the exact amount, but no way. It's just 13 inches. Sanyo little TV. Okay. Got a mono audio speaker there on the right-hand side. I even left this awesome sticker, and maybe if somebody remembers this TV, this is the TV that we did on live stream about 6 months ago, I want to say, maybe longer. Oof, I guess it would have been longer than that, where I did the G1 modification. So the G1 modification, all right? And I'm sorry, I will have, I'm going to mention something after this real quick that some people are asking about servicing and stuff. I want to mention something, but I'm going to wait till after I finish rolling through on this Sanyo, and then I will get to that. So just hold up, stuck in the 90s. I appreciate you. And Henry. I'll get to that in a second. So there's this first TV, number 1, the Sanyo. Let's get the model number here. I don't know if I get too close to it. It is a 13430. DS 13430. And this one is the Sanyo Road Corporation from Forest City, Arkansas, baby. Made and labeled in the USA, made and assembled in Mexico. And all the other information is gone. The date, sometime in the 20th century, this bad boy was made. Now, this one is RF only. Yes, I know, right? So unsexy, RF only. But what does it have? Well, it's been fully, of course, cleaned, adjusted in here. As you can tell, I've even done the duty of reseating that yoke to make sure it's nicely lined up, and that I've added a convergence strip to help with the convergence on this one. If you look closer down here, we have a modification done to this set. There's the mod board right here. You see that? So this one has been modified with a sharpness mod. That's right. What kind of crazy person does this even? So the sharpness mod was done to this. I even looked through all the regular capacitors on this. It's not been fully recapped. It's had a handful of capacitors replaced. There's one. All the deflection capacitors were replaced. And then there's just closer looks at the underside of that modification. So that's a G1 modified set right here. Let's see. There's the modification kit, which you can tune to sharpen the image, but I've got it tuned. Oh, there's just a random image of the shop. Sorry about that. Okay. This TV looks great on RF, but it is RF only. So we'll see how this guy goes. It's literally going to be one of the cheapest ones on the floor. But how cool is that? You can get a RF modified, a sharpness modified Sanyo. Somebody might really want this. It's a good starter CRT if you're just getting into the game. And it's going to work for a long time. So I think that's it. I think that's it for this first photo group. But if anybody has anything interesting they want to say about that one, you can let me know. It does work with a remote control, but you're really only going to get power on, off. Let's go back to the front. There is an IR save. So you can use the remote control with this. There is no way to modify this set. Okay? It has a hot chassis. So when they say hot chassis, this has a hot chassis. So you cannot modify this set right here. All right? But I'm telling you, it's going to be a great set for somebody to take home. 13 inches. You can carry it under your arm. I'll even autograph it for you if you want me to. I don't know why you would, but it's there. So, the Sanyo. Now, I'm going to jump over here into a new one. Well, the good thing about something that's basic, again, if you just want to do something basic, let's say you go there and you want to get into gaming with your kids and you want to do retro gaming and just maybe get started, man, it's super easy to go buy a 13-inch RF-only television, go over to a booth somewhere and buy an RF-only console that's not super expensive, that's not modified, right? You could still do RF only with a Super Nintendo, a Nintendo, a Sega Genesis. Some kids could go take this, put it on that in their little game room, and this is kind of the perfect thing for that. Just what you're talking about. You put this down there if you want to get... I don't know about you guys. I've been hearing a lot of parents tell me that they want, a better option for their kids as far as gaming, and they don't want them doing... modern stuff. They're wanting them more or less to be in retro gaming and do the things they did as kids. This is where that's gonna XX older. I wish I'm a fatty cat. So that's where this is going to be perfect. These starter TVs, okay? Because I didn't want to just show up with literally what I've got here are some powerhouse 20-inch PVMs that are going to be $1,500 that have been restored, right? So I don't want to just be yo, that's all that's available. Come see them and gawk and leave. So there's options under $100, baby. Well under $100. All right. So I did want to say one quick thing. I know a lot of you guys are watching and you watch all the time, and I appreciate you very much. I also want to say some people are asking in the chat how to get in the service queue. Right now, I have 8 CRTs in the queue for servicing, and then 4 more that are scheduled to come in between next week and the week after, basically, the convention. And so I have you know, I keep an active queue in here that you guys see me mostly working on in the videos. There's probably about 5 to 6 times that in the shop that's actually get done. Most of those restorations I post to Twitter. The only way to get in the restoration queue is to be on the Patreon and be a member of Patreon. Those are the only people I work for anymore, is just people on Patreon, and that way it keeps everything fair. And but you don't have to be on Patreon to buy any of these CRTs that you're watching today. That's just to get in the queue. And don't worry, if you're within the continental United States, I can help you arrange shipping. Of course, it's going to be costly most of the time, but it can be done. So I want to say thank you to everybody who supports the retro tech business through Patreon. It's really the way this thing keeps going and how everything keeps going. Thank you so much. There's been a ton of people over the last month that have joined, and I'm really thankful. And it's just awesome. You guys are the reason that I get to do all this. You guys, the people who sit here and watch these videos all the time, these are just awesome. Thank you so much. I know that, like, sometimes, I don't know, people, I don't feel like say thank you enough, so I want to just say thank you, really, for doing that. And that's the only way you get servicing. It's also the way I can keep the costs reasonable for servicing and make sure everything is safe and set up through the servicing channel, okay? So it's just the best system that I've had going, and it works the best, so that's the way it's done. Again, if you want to check out more, you can check out the link in the description of this video right here and go over and check out more details on Patreon. All right, I need a sip of water. Oh, man. Thanks, P.O. Appreciate it, man. Let's go. Ooh, look at this. I don't know what kind of filter I had on this one. We got, what did this one say? This was one that I was trying. Oh, we got a label here. Okay. CRT number 2 of today. This is going to be another simple starter CRT. Okay? It's a 20-incher. Sharp 19-incher. This is the 19R M100 from March of 2003. So on the newer end, believe it or not. I mean, this looks like something from straight up 1994, but it's a 2003 model. And again, funny enough, look how many of our devices are actually made in Mexico. Electronics. Okay, this one, it does have RF, but thank goodness we've also got composite video, okay? This one supports composite video. That's a good thing. And this one has been partially recapped. And this was, I think I was trying to do some, here's what the story was on this one. Okay. There's going to be a lot more extra folder pictures here. I attempted to RGB mod this set because it looked like it would be a good candidate for RGB modding. I'll tell you what I did and why it didn't work. But these were the parts I was looking at. So this was the OSD chip, or OSDN. Chroma video deflection chip, IC201. And unfortunately, this one is a digital RGB signal. And because of that, it cannot be RGB modded. Aside from that digital RGB, everything else on this set would be normal. The thing that drove me crazy was this set. This set was like one model number off from a set that had been RGB modded. And the only thing different was one chip difference. So that's what you're going to see. This is pictures of me attempting to do the RGB mod to it because the mod had been documented that it had been done. So this was the mod. I did all the mod work. And that's why there's a lot of experimental pictures. Of course, it did not work because it just wouldn't show anything on screen. And I sent in, I said, you know what? Because I was like, why isn't this working? And then I researched the chip. I reached out to Matt on Twitter, and he said, yes, this is unfortunately a digital RGB chip, and you can't get analog RGB video signals to work on it. So afterwards, I removed all the mod. I cleaned everything up. I reflowed all the solder. You can see there, like, the fresh solder on the jacks for composite video. There's the removal of the mod kit. And again, I did go in and replace a bunch of these are brand new capacitors in the power block, as well as the deflection block over here. There's a look at, I don't know why I took a picture of that, but that's the flyback inside of there if you want to know. Here's our tube, a sharp tube. There's the model number. In case somebody needs it for an arcade machine, I guess they could take it forward with them for that, but that would be sad. Anyway, this is a restored neck board, recapped, and solder reflowed right there, especially on that CRT socket. You can see that. Look at that. That's a point that breaks down. So anyway, all that's done, cleaned up, adjusted, and this baby's ready to go. It does not have the logo on here, so I mean, this sucker's generic as it can get. And there's a look at composite video right there. So this one will be set up in the booth. You'll be able to check it out. And again, this is going to be one of those lower cost ones. I have this 20-inch one, and then I have another 20 or slash 19-inch one that I'm going to show you here that's also going to be unmodified, that will be available, but it's slightly different from this one, so you'll have a choice, okay? I like to have a couple options, so we're going to have, I think, quite a few different 20s today. I think I only have one more that's not 20 inches. The other two are 20 inches. Let's see. So again, that's it for CRT number 2, the sharp 19-inch. Going to be, again, one of the cheaper ones. And that's all the pictures for the sharp. So what else do we have here? Another Philips, a Commodore, and a PVM. Okay. So yes, what we've got is a good option here. If you want to look back at the last show, what I have is an RF only Sony from the 1980s. It's got the beautiful wood grain on it. And I mean, this set's beautiful. That's going to be there at that size. I've got the 20-inch PVM-N series with RGB input. That's got a good, strong tube right there. That one's going to be there. That's 20 inches. And then there was another one that's this. So besides just the one I showed you there, I also am having, of course, this Sylvania is a 20-inch flat screen from that same early 2000 time period. Nearly the same statistically as that other sharp one you just saw. So you do have options on this low-end price of a flat screen version, or if you like the bubble screen, they have that sharp. So let's go back and see. So that, and then yes, we have the next 20-inch is a RGB modified CRT. So yes, I basically went through all these sets, seeing if there were any modifications available along the way, and like that 19 we just went through, there really wasn't anything except for I could have done a G1 modification, but I really didn't want to invest more into that one. So the next one we will talk about, though, does have an RGB mod done to it. Okay. GTA 6 on a CRT. Well, you could do that on any of these CRTs. I'll be glad to show you how at the convention. So this is the fun one. Okay. This guy is a Philips Magnavox 19-incher that, thank goodness, is RGB moddable. Look at this. I got you a little video clip. Watch this. Let's see if it shows up. Oh, baby. See that one? Yeah, this one. If I get in closer. Oh, it's not letting me zoom. Well, let's go back and see that again. Look at that. See if we can catch that lightning bolt. Man, it's like impossible to catch, except when you play the video. See that? Anyway. We had a video clip there of a discharge. Alright. So this chassis is RGB moddable. So I went through, I checked everything out, man. This one was made with great capacitors already. Everything in it was Nichicon or Rubicon, which I just love to see. So the capacitors that were in it were in very good shape. There was not really a lot of usage on this TV. I had to remove 3 resistors right there, and some surface mount. I think those were capacitors. I installed new parts, new resistors, and then I removed these. I installed some new diodes, and there you have those diodes. Now, unfortunately, these 3 pads that you see here eventually just disintegrated. Like, I'm not quite sure what happened. I had the mod in to test. I went with a switch on this one. So that I didn't do the muxing. I did the switch. It still has a SCART, but it has a switch to turn it on. So it's just a little more reliable on this TV. There's the SCART switch. There it is, working and beautiful. I mean, this set looks awesome. Like, this one's probably going to be expensive. And I say, like, I don't know, like $600 probably, because it looks great, low hours. And it does RGB. And it has stereo. I mean, supposed stereo sound, right? It's actually not for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on there. It's like feeding the audio through into one speaker, but the audio sucks on these old TVs anyway. So there you go. There's the switch. You turn the switch off and you have normal mode on the TV. The good thing is the menu will show up on the screen, so that still all works. This thing is such a sharp little guy. There's the kit, the little RGB kit with all the color tune in there. I installed that by hand. Look at that beautiful hand installation. And there it is, the opposite side, cleaned up, ready to go. This one's so nice looking. There's the chassis, all spiffed up, cleaned up, ready to go. Now, since the other side was damaged, I did have to run the cabling on top. This glue is simply there to hold. This is a dead spot on the board. There's nothing there. It's just holding those wires in place, okay? Same thing here. This is the switch. So it's getting the voltage for the energize off this point that just sends out like 3 volts right there. And yeah, like honestly, the Philips quality is, people are talking about it. It's really top quality as far as CRT builds. You can tell by looking at this board compared to the last couple. Restored there, refloat solder. There's my switch. There's my installed side board, bottom side. There's the disintegrated part of the board I told you about, where I had to run the repair on that. There's the blanking line, and there's where the like composite sink connects. All that good stuff for the mod. Cleaned out the inside here. This is actually a Samsung tube again. But it has the bubble screen. And there's everything. I'm just set it up to test. This is what the Switch looks like final. It looks really cool. It's got like a rubber soft case over it. So it just sounds really cool. I think it's like a guitar case, like a two-way Switch. It's completely overkill, right? But man, I mean, guys, look at how sharp this sucker is for a Smart View, that Smart Series, Philips Magnavox right there. I mean, this thing will catch your eye when it's running. Looks super clean, like it was meant to be, with the SCART right there. Man, I love this one. Like, I don't even care if like this one doesn't sell so much, because I might want to keep it. But I will have it there. Not gonna be greedy. But that's like, this is gonna be one of the coolest ones at the booth. Because I'm trying to find, I mean, since I did my goal, I'll try to mention more about that. But man, this one's a good one. Like, good TV here. So that right now is the only RGB modded CRT I'm going to be bringing. And that is our third CRT. Now, the last two are technically professional commercial grade. I mean, you could also say that the first one we're looking at is not commercial because it was a home use PC. However, it was very much during the 1980s a commercially used piece of hardware too, so you'll see commercial use labels on it sometimes. And it was definitely used in shops that used a PC because it was one of the first PCs, useful PC that was mainstream that had a monitor. Yeah, Dwight, I think it will too. I mean, I'm going to tell you the truth. If you have your eyes on that RGB modded one, I would come Friday. I'm going to be surprised if it doesn't sell first. So, we'll see. I mean, I wish I could have RGB modded those other two 20-inch ones, but it was just not capable. Actually, all three of them. One has a hot chassis. The other two had, one of them, they both had digital RGB, basically chips that you couldn't do. All right. We're doing good. We're doing good on time. It's 45 minutes, about 30 minutes to look at CRTs. We got two more to go. There's not a lot of pictures on this one, but this is another one that's going to sell really quickly. I'm sure of it, because you just don't see these every day anymore, especially in this condition. This is a fully restored Commodore 1702 that is completely original, has all its parts. It even has a really clean door tray, which tends to fall apart. And I mean, this is a monitor that will sell even if you don't restore it. But this one, you can tell I've got it all down in parts. I love this tube. This is a fantastic tube from the 1980s made by Hitachi. And it's in this model. It's in a lot of the JVCs. Sometimes you might have a different tube in the Commodore, but this Hitachi tube is just top notch. There we go. 370KNB22. Hitachi was a Japanese company that really, really unsung, undersung, made awesome electronics. Often not talked about. If you find a Hitachi CRT, you should grab it. Don't care where you are. If it works, you find one, grab it if you have space. Because they did make a couple consumer sets. All right. Anyway, sorry to get on that rant about Hitachi. Here's the tube. You can tell the inside's in pretty much perfect condition. This is the bundle of complete boards. Here's the neck board. Recapped with Rubicons, baby. That's how I do it now. Rubicon, 105 degrees, full solder reflow. You can tell that is a solid connection right there. Solid points here for your drives in case you ever need to make an adjustment in 15 years. You can come in here and safely do so and not worry about it. All this on the switches and the inputs on the back have been solder reflowed. It's good stuff. This has been 100% recapped. Okay. So there you go. Nishikons, Rubicons, recapped, solder reflowed, cleaned, fully redone. All back together. And I also did do the professional cleaning on this switch. So just a tip, if you own one of these, this switch right here that you see, this is how you select whether you're going to use the composite video input on the front of the monitor or this input right here, which is your Commodore video. But we all know this is S video. So you do need an adapter. I will have one available at the show for purchase, but it's probably going to be like $20. So if you get your own way, you could do it without it. But this set looks awesome. It's in great shape. Tube is strong, cleaned up, man. This is an 84. Somebody's really going to love this one because, I mean, this is in as good a shape as you find them now. Like, you do not find them really in better shape than this unless it's... I've seen one in better shape than this, and it was because it was a museum's. That's it. That's the reason. It belonged to Try now. Try from My Life in Gaming. It's his now. So, there you have it. That's going to be CRT number 9. The Commodore 1702. And there's that input. I love the power button on these two. It's very cool power button. And that's what it looks like with that closed tray. Sleek front. If you have a Commodore PC, man, you need this CRT. So I'm pretty sure this will sell quickly. These usually do. There's the front. So if you put that selection switch on the back on front, and you can use the video and audio connection there, and select the switch rear, and you can use the Commodore video or S video and then the audio there. So just mono audio on this guy, but that's it. Now finally we're on to the finally we're on to this last one. So the cool thing is I will have 2 PVMs from the same family line of PVMs. So if you come early, you'll get to see 2 of the same family of PVMs right next to each other. I have a 13-inch and a 19-inch of the same model. So you'll get to see the difference in the sizes, what's the difference in the way they look. But then when somebody buys one, it's going to be gone and I won't have them next to each other again. But let's start at the end so you can see this one. It's the thumbnail for today's show. It's the 1943 MD restored and modified PVM. Now this is a 600 line high resolution CRT that Sony made in the 1990s specifically for medical use and medical imaging, and the 19-inch version was the larger of this line that they made. And again, 600 line, super fine pitch tube is what Sony monikered it back then before they did the high resolution. And we're going to go through it here. So that's the front. This guy was broken down and had a pretty heavy restoration done to it. So this is a look on the inside after the main board's been removed. Here's that main board. Now this board has hundreds of capacitors. I'm thinking over 200 total on all of it, and the daughter boards right there. And then there's another daughter board that's been removed already. It does not get a 100% cap kit done to it. That would cost and make the monitor cost just too much. We do the vital capacitors that are failed or failing, and the capacitors that are deflection on this board. 100%. All the deflection capacitors are changed. So that's what that is all the deflection capacitors and 2 others that were changed that failed. Okay? So that's the deflection adjustment board. This is a manually adjusted board. And this is the one that I will be using, not this specific one, but this monitor is the one that always gets used on my shows because I can do so much with it. It's almost like playing a keyboard. It's analog and no service menu, so you can play, like you can tickle the ivories, as they say, on the keyboard. Well, this is your keyboard right here. You can tickle these keyboard right here. And there's all the capacitors, though, that are removed. And I just like to document all this. So the deflection capacitor kit is almost 50 capacitors. Those are all removed, and lots of photographs. That's what it looks like with them removed. Here it is after all the new ones are installed and double checked. That's what the line on top of them means, that I've gone in and double checked them, and I mark them to make sure that the polarity is correct and the voltage and the capacitance rating are all correct. Here's the after shots of the cleaned board post-servicing. I also go through and reflow solder on those potentiometers that you saw so that those will not break through when you put a adjustment screwdriver in them. That's why it's done like that, guys. And gals. So these are just more... this board is also recapped. 100% solder reflow. There's pictures of that. That's the flyback board. So there's all the new capacitors. There's the new solder, cleaned up, everything. Neck board gets the same treatment. Full solder reflow, full recap. All these photographs are reviewable in your folder with the QR code you can scan on the monitor at the show. Here's the capacitors from the power supply. It's also recapped with a capacitor kit and solder reflow. I reflow solder on the entire board and clean it to make sure that you have high quality solder on your PVM. And this is what it looks like afterwards. Like, I do that to give it, add to the durability, because there's no reason for these not to last even longer, like another 20 years easy. I mean, there's a chance that something breaks down and fails, but a lot of this stuff will have an opportunity to live that long, if not longer. Here's the reassembled monitor. I do go in, and it's from 1993. Maybe older than some of you watching this very video. Not me. Not me. I was already in my double-digit age group by then. This one needed a lot of convergence adjustment. I did add quite a few strips. This is the tube test, so still pretty strong for a 93 tube right there. There's it is connected to the machine. So that's been cleaned up. It's a good example. It's probably going to be the best PVM there. Very good PVM. The best one there, I'm sure. This one has an eGauze button on the front and a trap or comb filter there. And then it does PAL, CCAM, NTSC. It has composite video, RGB support, and even YC/S video support. And it has some quick adjustment controls. And this one's awesome because it has a reset button. In case you adjust something here and you don't like the way it looks after adjustment, you can reset and go again just by pressing that button. Back label, December 93. Here's the serial number. We'll match your certificate of authenticity and report on all the services completed to it. This one has been modified to give audio support for that analog RGB signal through this line A. You can also go back here and you can select the color temperature setting, which is like a color palette for your color settings. If you like a cooler blue setting, go with the 9300. If you like that more warm red setting or orangey setting, go with the 6500. You also have vertical hold controls back here in case you vertical scroll. You may need to adjust that. But everything else on here is pretty much go and forget about it. Don't have to worry about it. Super clean, great shape. Looks pretty darn good. I mean, it's not perfect by any means. These pictures are tough to take of this one. It's definitely not perfect convergence, but great enough. You know, you don't need to look at that screen all the time. When you're playing games, it looks awesome. Between this one and that N series, those two PVMs are going to be the better ones. And then the 13-inch of this version. That technically, like the 13-inch for me is the sweet spot on any PVM. But because it just looks better around the corners and everything. These 20 inches are awesome because you get that size expansion, but you do start to see a little bit more edge issues. And then you'll see more edge issues on basically consumer sets. So that's it. Thanks, Dwight. Yep, guys, those are the five secondary list. That's the full 10 now. You can watch the 2 videos and get detailed looks at both of them. And again, these are all that are going to be on site. I'm going to do my best to set up. Might have to have Steve help me set up my CRT wall on Thursday is when I'm bringing this stuff in. Thursday, I will be there September 11th, but I will be working to set everything up to get ready for Friday morning, people. Let's be there September 12th. Be there and hang out. And let's have some fun. So, one more thing I want to mention before I forget. If you are on the Patreon, I will have a post that I'm going to have next. I'm going to try to get it done by Monday. What it should have in there is the detailed listings on each one of those and pricing. My pricing will be ready by Monday, I'm hoping. Monday to Tuesday, right? That's the first official day of September. We're going to have all that ready, and then I'll have the folders with the pictures and the detailed certificate with each monitor or TV in that file folder. I may have one more secret accessory. I do not know yet. I don't know whether I want to keep this thing. I just have nowhere to use it. But I do have a ceiling mount, a high quality ceiling mount made out of iron. I don't know whether I'm going to bring that and sell that yet, but I might possibly bring that. So if you want, for some reason, to have a 20-inch CRT mounted on your ceiling, you need to have a good spot to mount it. I mean, it's got to be like a beam to mount this thing onto. But I have one. I have a mount for a TV that's 20 inches or larger. Heck, you could even put the PVM on this mount, but it's like a down hanger that was used in some kind of an office. All right, folks, that's the show today. I appreciate your time. If you came in late and you want to go back, you'll be able to watch this. I'll have it posted. My plan for now is to do a live stream next week, probably, as I get everything ready. If I have any bonus things ready for the show, I will update you then. I will update everybody, too, as pricing is out by then. And, oh, yeah, I've been talking with Bob, and maybe Steve can jump in and help us with this, too. We're going to try to do a live stream from our booth So we will try to set up live streaming. I don't know if that's going to mean different streams on different days. I would prefer not to stream on Saturday for myself, but if we get the streaming set up, maybe like Bob takes over and does all the streaming Saturday, and I'll try to stream Friday or something. I'm not really sure. I should have more details by next week for the show. And that would be even better, because if you can't be there, the next best thing we can do is have a live stream from the show for you. And you could just keep it open all weekend. Any questions before I pop off, guys? If not, I'm going to check on Cole, see how it's going with him. Otherwise, I hope everybody comes out and says hello. Please do. Plan to have a good time. Move some CRTs. I need to move them because I've already got like a load coming back with me, guys. So come make sure you pick up one. All right. Well, thanks again, everybody who's been here, hung out, checked out the stream. I appreciate y'all for your time. You guys have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you all in the next